Welcome. Welcome. Let's see if this thing is on. Maybe. Getting started. Looks like Twitter's up. Looks like maybe YouTube is trying to work. I'm also on Vibra, which is kind of like a newer one. Let's see if that's working. Yes, Vibra is up, so that's cool. So welcome in. We are going to be working on some UI stuff today. I'm working on a game. Let's see, did I post there as well? So I'm going to explain kind of what I've been working on recently and then kind of the plan for the stream, what we're building, what we're working on. So hopefully that will all work. Okay. Cool. I think we're good. I think we're live. I think we're ready. Actually, is YouTube working? Let's see. I'm going to just jump over to YouTube so I can check. Yes, looks like we are live on YouTube. Sweet. So we are live everywhere you can be live. So thanks for jumping in. So I'm working on my game, Stoke Fire. It's an on-chain game. So trying to do something new, something interesting, but it's a mobile game. So I have my little mobile simulator here. And basically the whole premise and goal of the game is to grow your village. You're trying to grow your village and you're trying to grow your village population. So you can see like here, I have like 5 villagers. And to do that, you need to get resources. So you can chop wood, you can gather food, but you can only do it every so often. So you kind of come back and you try to get more. And then to keep your village going though, you have to stoke the fire. So if I click on here, and this is actually something new I did yesterday, I made it so you have like a confirm button, and then it also kind of shows you what you could get. So if I stoke the fire here, I could get 5 to 6 more score. I could add 5 villagers because I have a hut. You have to build a hut. So you can go down here and you can build huts. Right now I don't have enough wood to build a hut, but you have to build your huts so that then when you stoke fire the next time, some villagers will be like, hey, this is a nice village. I want to move into this village. And so then people would move into your village. But also to entice the villagers, you need food because villagers got to eat. So you got to have enough food, and that's where the gather food comes in. So since I have enough food, when I stoke the fire, I have enough food that villagers will come in. But at the same time, your current villagers have to eat the food. And so that's why there's a -5 food here. Might be kind of small on your screen, but you can see there's a -5 food here because my current villagers, I have 5 villagers, they're all going to eat whenever I stoke the fire. And also it takes wood to stoke a fire. You know, I don't know if you've made a fire before, but you have to actually burn some wood to make a fire, and that's where the -3 wood comes in. So this is something I added yesterday, this nice little kind of confirm button to make sure you want to do it, but also has some resource info on what's going to happen. I have this relations tab. Right now, it's just me because this is my dev environment, but if you're in the actual game, which I have maybe 15-ish people playing on the early access with me, it's been kind of fun. And we're all building our villages together. And the relations page right now, all it is just like a leaderboard. It just shows like, hey, what's everyone's score, kind of ranks everybody. But what we're working on this stream, starting to work on, I mean, I've been working on this for a little while now. But what we are working on is making it so that you can actually battle each other. You can try to steal each other's resources. There's so much stuff I can add to this game. I mean, that's kind of the plan. I'm just going to keep adding stuff to it, just make it better. You know, it's kind of simple right now. But yeah, there's a lot we can do to this to make it more fun. You know, I have lots of ideas. There could be weapons. There could be different soldier types. There could be managing your villagers. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. But right now, we're just working on creating the UI that I'm going to update this relations page so that you can steal stuff from each other. So that should be interesting. And we're going to go through some designs. What else can I talk about? We've already, in the code here, I've already coded up the logic for how the battle stuff works. Because the logic all takes place on the blockchain in smart contracts. So all this stuff is happening in the blockchain. We have our defend facet class. This is what handles attacking and defending and stuff like that. Got our attack facet, our defend facet. So I have all the logic going. I already have tests for all this. I did some of this in one of the last streams, creating the logic for this. And on top of that, we're also indexing this data. So whenever one of these actions happen on the blockchain, we have kind of a program that pulls the events that happen on the blockchain and then puts it in like a database where we can easily access what we need and kind of stores the state of the data. Yeah, so if you have questions, feel free to reply. I guess if you're on Twitter, I guess you just reply to the tweet and I think that will come in and I can see it. Yeah, so just reply to that. Or if you want to go over to YouTube, my channel, Noah Bragg, you can go over there. Yeah, so kind of maybe I'll explain the battle mechanics. And while I'm explaining it, we also need to figure out what's this UI going to look like. So I'm going to be updating this relations page so that you can see maybe just some top high level data points for each person, like how much score they have. Maybe you'll have number of villagers they have. But then basically you'd select that row, and I need to make that row look somewhat selectable. And that's what I'm thinking. So instead of having these buttons here, I'm thinking to have kind of like a little arrow kind of thing, something like this. Something to try to show that this is like an arrow, that this is a selectable row. So you can click this whole thing. And then maybe that's not really a button either. I think the other thing, well, let's see. So I have like their score. Let's say their score is 12. And we'll have that little like icon. So let's just say this is our little icon for score. So we're showing score. And then I think the other thing that we could do here is, so the main thing that the players are going to want to know when they're seeing this screen is like, who can I attack? What's their score? Who are they? But also, which of these players am I allowed to attack right now? Because in the battle mechanics, there's a thing where right now it's every 9 hours. I think I might change it to be like every 6 hours. That you're only allowed to attack people every 6 hours or every 9 hours. And at the same time, every person's only able to be attacked every 6 hours or every 9 hours. So yeah. So we want some kind of UI to show us, this person can or cannot be attacked, but also maybe an indicator of how much time until you can attack them. So kind of that's, on our normal UI, we have these kind of countdown, these gray boxes that kind of show how much more time until they can be attacked again. So I'm thinking about using something kind of like that to show when someone can be attacked again. We'll move that out of the way. Or we can use this. I'm trying to think. It could be like attack in. Yeah, the action should be, I think, instead of saying you can't attack them or something like that, saying like attack. But then, and I think I'm actually going to call it steal for now, because you're kind of like stealing one of the resources. You can choose which one of their resources you want to steal. And maybe there's even enough room. Obviously, this UI makes it, there's not much room in this UI, but maybe on our actual thing, maybe it's actually the countdown, steal in 3 hours, something like that. And then there's also the little gray thing. So a little kind of indicator showing what we can do there. I think that would be good. I think that could be interesting. Maybe the other way we show this is, instead of this being like full height, taking up a lot of space, maybe this is something like on the bottom of each row, like that kind of goes under some of these icons. You don't want it to be too busy, but maybe it's like, you have some of these icons showing some data, some scores, some resources. But then below this, there's like some space for kind of like almost like a loading bar that shows when you'll be able to attack them next. And the other thing that will be a little bit tricky is that because I have those 2 cooldown times, right? Like there's the cooldown period for you can only attack like every 6 hours. Hello, Jonathan. Thanks for stopping in. Let me know if you have any questions about this game I'm working on. So there's that cooldown period for yourself, and then there's that cooldown period for them. So like say your cooldown period is currently longer than their cooldown period. I guess technically, if yours is longer, then basically all these people, like you would have the same cooldown period. Like they, each user to you would not be able to attack. And so I'm wondering if that's the UI I should show, or if I should show their cooldown period because it's on their row. That might make sense. Or, and this is kind of the next part, is you then click into each row, and there's going to be kind of like a modal kind of pop-up that comes from that we're going to create. And maybe it's on there where the cooldown period kind of shows for them. And that's where you can kind of see more specifically what that cooldown period is. And once your cooldown period is done, because you can't steal anything anyways, but once your cooldown period is done, then all these rows could maybe show that individual player's cooldown. So I'm thinking maybe I should write a little bit of this out. If you have a cooldown, then show that for all player rows. If you don't, then show that player's cooldown. And then on each player modal, show their cooldown regardless. I think that could make sense. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that sound like that would be intuitive enough of like, I guess it depends with the text. So in the modal of the player, maybe instead of it steal in, because that's kind of like when you can steal. When can you steal? Maybe in the modal, which we can kind of draw up here. How do I do rounded on this? Edges rounded. We don't need rounded. So in this modal, this will kind of, idea is that it will kind of pop down from, so if you clicked on Corbin.eth, this would kind of pop down here. And it might even have some of that same info here, kind of showing you, so you kind of feel like you're seeing more. You're seeing some of the same things, but you're also seeing more. So maybe we have like this, bring this here again, remove that line. Let's put another, so it's like we could put more resources. These are, just imagine these are resources. So we have more resources, and then what we could do is actually create their button. This button will be when you attack. and it will either say steel. So this is the question that we have too, is at this point, you have two options. You can either steal their wood or you can steal their food. And so do we want to show both those options right here? Or do we want to have kind of like a steal button and another, I guess it'd be another confirm pop-up. Like what I'm thinking is like, you have that pop-up and then it says steal and you click this, and then here there's a button here and a button here that says steal wood or steal food. I think another pop-up would probably be too much. So I think here would be steal from Corbin in. So this would kind of let you know you can steal from this specific player in so much time. This is their cooldown. The cooldown for yourself shows here, or potentially Corbin shows here as well. So someone's just commenting. I think so. It's either going to be this option, or yeah, we have that. I don't know if this could probably all be a little shorter now. There's only so much info that we have to show, so it's going to be a little smaller. But then what we could do is copy another one of these. Let's bring it over here. And we have it split up. Steal wood. And then we'll have steal food. And then I think the other thing, so this is, let's just say, state where you can steal. So this is the state where you can steal. Hello, Uprise Motivation. Thanks for joining. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm just trying to design my battle UI for my game here. So trying to make some progress. And drinking some coffee. Okay, so what we could do is say, so plus, So what I want to do is tell them, if you click this button, this are the outcomes. So it could be minus 6 wood to plus 6 wood. I think that's the option, the possibilities here. Let's make this a little smaller. So if we go over to our libraries, attack library, so 2 to 8 wood is what I'm thinking. So that means you could potentially lose 8 wood. And also how this works, so that you know, is if you steal wood, the person you're attacking, they can choose to defend. So if they defend, then if they defend wood, then you're the one that loses. And actually, if you lose, we don't necessarily know what you're going to lose. You could lose food too. So there's some randomness to it. If you're the loser and you attacked, you could lose wood or food. You could lose some of either. Where if you're stealing wood, then if you win, you're going to get the wood. So actually, this isn't quite right. So the result is either +8 wood, +0, +1 to 8 wood. So you could get somewhere in there because that's also random how much you're gonna get. But then we need to somehow show that you could also lose. You could also get nothing in return. So we'll do something like this. So +1 to 8 wood. Maybe how do we show this? Or lose? Or maybe we don't say anymore. Maybe we just let them kind of find out like that. Oh, you ended up losing. Eventually, like we're gonna have to notify people. That'll be the other part we'll have to design is notifying people that they won or lost the battle because that happens later. Thanks for stopping by. Let me know if you have any questions or feedback, ideas on how I should make this look better. So yeah. Oh no, I guess that doesn't matter. So we just stoked the fire, and we got 5 villagers. We used up 5 of our food, and we got, I think, 5 score. I was wanting to just kind of visualize if I split this up into 2 buttons. I think it will be able to fit. What will also help is at some point I'm going to change a lot of these words, or some of the words. I'll actually show like an icon. Like there'll be icons as what instead of just wood and food, it'll actually be icons. I think that will help a lot too with just visually being able to pick out quickly like what's happening. Okay, so this is kind of a rough design. I think thinking more about this, do we just show the score? I guess we'll see kind of how this plays out. Also, we don't want it to be too messy. That's why I'm kind of thinking that maybe this indicator being underneath. So like maybe we do the underneath thing. And this indicator is like smaller, kind of goes underneath. This kind of allows us to maybe put another resource here. Something like that. And so then maybe this doesn't even have, I don't think we should even have words in this because if we have words, it's lots of rows and stuff, it just means it's going to be messy. And if they want to know more, they click on the row and then it will actually show them things. I think that will be better. And the other thing is like, this is just the first version, which in some ways we're also optimizing for speed. Like we just want to kind of get this out there, get people battling, and then we'll get some feedback from people of what they actually think. And then we can kind of update the UI, add things, stuff like that. Okay. Because the other thing that is kind of missing is that like you could lose here. The other thing that we could show, yes, this is a good idea. We can show, has this player set up their defense or not? So the difference is if you attack a player that has defended, then it's based on what did they choose? Did they choose to protect their food, or did they choose to protect their wood? So that's an option. But if a player has not set up their defense, which you can set up your defense for every battle, every 6 hours, if that's what we make it, you can set up your defense. And if you don't set up your defense and someone attacks you, then you have more chance of losing. It's just random at that point. You have a 55% chance of losing, and the attacker has a 55% chance of winning. So if you're the attacker, it's actually kind of nice for you to know, does Corbin here, is he defending? Does he have his defense set up? And if he doesn't, you're probably going to want to just go attack the people that haven't set their defense up, because you have a higher chance of winning, unless you think you have a really good guess of what they're going to protect. So that's where the fun kind of game theory comes in here, right? Of what's the best option to take here? And that's what's going to be kind of interesting, because you're going to be you're going to look at the resources, and you're going to be like, okay, what are they going to try to protect right now? The other thing you can do, which you can't do yet, is eventually I'll add a tab for activity. And it's just going to show, what is everyone doing? When are they attacking people? When are they getting resources? When are they stoking fire? Who did they attack? What choice did they choose for defense last time? And so those will all those data points will come into play when you're looking and thinking, what should I choose to do here? So we need some UI or something. We could have a shield. That would be cool. And maybe a little text that says is defending, something like that. They're defending their village. You know what I'm saying? So let's do just a little, this can be our shield icon, something under here, and we'll show them that they are defending. That will be that UI. So I'm thinking that's pretty close. So that's all the attacking stuff. Now we need to set up the defense stuff. And so there's kind of two states for defense as well. And I'm thinking it could be something here. And it's going to kind of be just set up your defense. And maybe that will be a button here. So this is the first state, is you haven't set your defense. And this could be a little pop-up of some sort. So set up your defense. That will then pop up, kind of similar again to this kind of doohickey, and it will tell you some more information. It will say, defend, protect your wood or your food. Maybe it could say a little information about how battling works. So let's make this pop up here, and oops. Okay, let's do this. So you have two options as a defender. We'll say defend wood, or defend food. So you can do either of those. And then maybe we just have a little bit of info of attackers, or you win if attacker tries to, I don't know. We need something short here. Attacker. So if the attacker tries to steal what you defend, then you win. You could say protect what you think attackers will steal. Maybe something like that. And this is like a little popover that comes over here. So that's the first state. You have not. I wonder, should we show, they have a possibility of winning something as well. Maybe it's even just something like win resources if you win or something like that. Win resources. Let's see, not win. It could be achieve, or I'm not sure what the right word is there. Get, I don't know. So you get resources if you win. So there's that state. And then the other state of this, maybe I need state if you don't have defense set up. It's getting a little bit messy over here, but we're going to jump over here. State if you do have defense set up. So the cool thing of how this mechanic works is that you choose your state, but no one else knows what your state is. No one else knows what you're defending. It's a secret. Hello, Matthias. Thanks for jumping by. Let me know if you have any questions about what I'm up to. So if you do have a defense set up, we can show you like you are defending something. We can actually show that because we know that because it's stored locally, but it's not stored anywhere else. You are defending wood, something like that. Like this is going to be right here. There's nothing that you can select or update there. But yeah, it's going to be like you are defending wood. The other thing that would be kind of nice to show is like, when can you be attacked? Because you have your own cooldown. So having kind of a cooldown bar could be helpful. You were defending wood. You can set up your defense even if you are not able to be attacked, which will be kind of nice because then you can kind of get ready for the battle. Even though no one can attack you yet, you can kind of be like, you can kind of just be like, oh, I'm going to protect my wood because that's what I want to protect, and I want to be ready for once it's time that people can attack me. So we need to have something here. Matthias, are you designing a game? Yes, I am. I am designing Stoke Fire here. It's a mobile game. It's on chain that I'm building, and we've got some people playing it. Not on this version. This is my local version. But yeah, you got to create a village, and you got to grow your village. That's the goal. And you can get resources. And what I'm building now is you're able to attack the other people. And now that I think about it, if I look on my app, I am able to gather some wood. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the opportunity to get the wood. What tech stack am I using? So I'm using, I only got one food. That's no good. It's not very much. Tech stack, I'm using React Native. I'm using Expo. Expo kind of helps with the React Native development stuff and deploying. It's really nice. And then I'm using, what else? Well, Solidity for the smart contract stuff. All the logic's on chain, which is cool. And yeah, trying to do pixel art right now. Some of these are like placeholder images for the most part. But yeah, the idea is I'm going to be adding some more pixel art and things like that. So should be fun. Should be cool. Hey, Chase, thanks for joining. Okay. So yeah, we need something here. I'm trying to think of the wording to show that you have defense set up or not. So you are defending wood. We could have another cooldown bar kind of thing like this. Maybe that's the best way to do it. Something like that. But maybe we need some text as well. It could say like, you can be attacked in so many minutes or something like that. And maybe it's in here. Yada, yada. But it would be really small. Like maybe this would be smaller. I don't know. Kind of like a loading bar. So the main concern I have with that is I don't want people to think that these are buttons. Because, in my other UI, these loading states, you can't click these, they're disabled, but they are buttons once they kind of go away. And it's like an action you can do after cooldown. So I don't want people to confuse like, oh, this is an action here too. So we'll have to kind of work that out. Trying to think if there's any other better plan or something I can do. Hopefully not. Hopefully that's what we'll see in code. So yeah. All right. Well, I think that's probably enough planning for right now. So maybe now is just the time to jump into it and see if we can actually code this thing up. And I'm using Cursor, of course. So hopefully Cursor can kind of help me do this. I'm thinking I'm going to kind of build the UI first. And then, we have to hook it up to like our data, hook it up to backend stuff. So yeah, that is kind of the plan. So maybe we can start with this little section first. Can I get that working? And then move on to other parts and things. So, what is most important to show here is the question. I think score and maybe even wood and food, because it kind of shows that's you kind of are limited. If they don't have enough wood or food, then you're limited to what you can steal. And maybe huts and villagers isn't as necessary to show here. So let's remove this right now. So it looks like that. And then we'll add the little arrow icon on the right so that people kind of know you can click on this thing. And then we'll have to try to figure out creating something below that. Okay. Let's ask Cursor, you make a chevron arrow pointing to the left below the score. It goes on the right side of the row for each player. Okay, let's see. What's GTE? I don't even know what that is. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's pointing the wrong way. How do we, I don't know. Make the arrow point the other way. LT, oh, greater than or less than, that's what it is. Let's make it a little bit bigger, I'm thinking. So text large, let's see if that works. I don't know. It's hard to say if people actually know what that is. What that's trying to signify. Trying to signify that this is a clickable thing. You can click on this thing. We might need a little bit more space. Something like that. Maybe even more. Okay, it's getting decent. But the question is, if you look at that thing, do you think you could click it? Let's see. Yeah, I'm using React Native Reanimated. Yeah, try to open, tap on Chevron icon. Yeah, I could kind of expand it like that. I kind of want it to be a modal though that appears right here, kind of like what I have. Whoops, over here. So it's like you tap, each row is going to have like a pop-up that kind of shows above it, and it will kind of go down, but kind of highlighting that information I think will be better than just an expand. But yeah, I'm kind of playing around with building the same idea. So it's, you have this, you click on it, and maybe that does turn to kind of show that it's open as well in the modal. But yeah, it will kind of look like a collapse and expand, I guess. So hopefully people see that and they're like, oh, I can click on that thing. They're obviously going to, they'll try to figure out stuff, and hopefully they try. That would be ideal. My coffee is cold now, so I guess I'm not going to be drinking much of that anymore. Okay, so next thing is, so we have this view. We're going to, got display name, got this stuff. So this whole thing, let's put under a view here. Like so. And then we're going to do another view. And in here, we'll have a view. And this will be our loading looking bar thingy, which we could maybe, so we have some buttons. Let me make this a little bigger so you can see it better. How about that? So we have this cooldown button, which handles kind of time and updating and all that. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is copy this and make, it's not going to be a button obviously, but we can kind of copy this and reuse some of this stuff. So let's do that. And this will become like our loader kind of area. Cooldown bar, maybe we call it. Cooldown bar. Sounds pretty cool. The question is, how reusable do we want this to be? Have to figure that out. Maybe we start out making it not very reusable, and we can always make it more reusable later. Well, first of all, let's just make this a view. Remove some of this stuff. don't need this whole thing here. This is something not needed. Don't need that. Don't need this. Don't need all these things. Okay, so this is the time countdown. We'll see if that works. Might not have that. Might have no words. Or we pass in words, and if we don't have any, we don't use them. Something like that. Let's comment that out for now. Trying to see, why is it mad at this? Delay long prop number. Might be because I have this. No. Yeah, what do we do in the case where where you can attack? So we have this loading bar. Yeah, what do we show if you can attack right now? Trying to think what we would show there. You could either do nothing or something like you can attack now, something like that. Could maybe make sense. Don't need this, don't need that, don't need this, don't need that. See, village is used there. It's not really used anywhere else. So I don't think we need the village either. Clean this up here. This shouldn't be upset at us. Should be right. I guess we'll see. It's also set up us here. Let's see. Why is class name have an error? It's saying to use style. No, it should work. It's using Tailwind. Pulling all this stuff from React Native. Maybe it's just mad for no reason. Okay, so now if we go up to tabs, relations, add a cooldown bar from cooldown bar using cooldown bar. And then let's see. Let's just start with that because we're going to have to change some things that aren't quite right. Import that here. Okay, that works. Last action time. We're going to have to add, let's just like add last chopped wood for now. We're going to have to update this to actually have the right times and stuff. I have no idea. Whoa. I was going to say, I have no idea what this is going to look like right now. But it doesn't look good. I'll say that. Keep that for now. Let's see. How can we update this? Be smaller maybe. Border 1. PY 1. Now it's smaller. We're going to need it to be a lot smaller. Let's see. We also need to fix up this view. Flex row. There we go. Hey, it's looking a little better. It's looking like something now, right? So now if we get rid of having to have the text, so children, we could say this is potentially null or undefined. So then we can basically do one of these numbers like so. Remove the children. Boom. Now we have a loading bar that actually, hey, maybe, it's going to be something where it's like people just don't really know what it is until they do, if that makes sense. I think that might be what it will kind of come down to. It's really hard to see the border. Oh, there is no border. I messed that up. It's going to say, I remember, because it's just border, not border -1. There we go. Now we've got a border. We can see how much time is ticking there. I think it's actually too thick. It's a little too thick. We also can add maybe a margin top 1. And then instead of doing PI 1, we could do like a height of 1 almost. That almost works. It's a little thin, but it gives. It almost works. It'd also be nice. I don't know how I'm gonna make this work, but it would be nice if the width of these bars were the same throughout, even though right now it looks like it's based on the width of what's above it. But that might be good enough for now. The other option is we just set a a width, and it's the same throughout these. But I think that would potentially look weird because these would be different. I don't know. Let's just try it. Let's see if we just said like a width of what it would be 3 or 1/4. Would it be 1/4 the screen? Would that work? Oh, that's going to be of its container. So that's not going to work. Let's see, like what's 300 pixels? Not good. 100 pixels. Let's, if we say 150. So it pushes those over. So that might be okay if we can then somehow get these to go to the right. Let's see. Can you make these pixel text items float to the right of their view? Let's see if this works. Justify end. I think we want the whole. Let's see, is that over top of the whole thing? I think so. That might work. Boom. Okay, that's looking pretty good now. I think I'm liking that. These things will expand as these numbers get bigger, so they'll kind of fill the space. The only other option potentially is that I'm thinking about is could we make this cooldown bar just a hair, a smidget bigger? So we just did smaller. Let's do 4 pixels, not bad. 5 pixels. I think that's too big. So I think, actually, no. Yeah, too big. Let's do 4 pixels. So 4 pixels, I think that looks pretty good, just like that. And now we can know when you can attack people. That's pretty sweet. We don't have the actual data yet, but we have the placeholder. So I think that's pretty good for now. Let's just keep the placeholder and we can kind of update it as we actually add the real data to it and fix things. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. I'm just kind of seeing if anyone else has some thoughts for me. I think I'm going to go take a moment to warm up my coffee because I kind of want to have it, but it's cold. So I will be back. Don't worry. I'm not going to shut down the stream. I'm just going to take a moment to go check for some coffee, heat up my coffee, and then I will be back. So think of your questions and put those down here. One moment. All right, I'm back. I got some coffee, went to the bathroom, and we are back. Gonna make this happen. Okay. So we now have some UI for showing you a few things. I think that's good. I think that looks good enough for now. The emojis are kind of big compared to the text. It's just kind of how this font works that I have. The font is just small. So yeah. Next step is allowing you to actually click on these options and make something pop up there. So to do that, let's probably do a couple things here. We should probably split this out to be its own component here. Kind of clean that up a little bit, because we're going to have some extra stuff in each one. So I think that's smart. So maybe it's like this whole thing. But we also want this to be included. So I'm going to say these. Ooh. Okay, so I guess we just have to take this whole thing. Gonna grab it. It's gonna take a village, might take an index. Yeah, it's gonna probably take an index. I really don't like in Expo how you can't put the stuff within under app. Like maybe you can do, I don't think you can even do underscore folders. Like I want to be able to have a folder in here and just have it all right here. But instead I have to go over into components. So let's make a new one. We'll probably pull some stuff into this at some point. Let's see, player row. Something like this. Just trying to clean things up here. Copy that. Let's go copy these things over there. Get some props here. We want a village. And we want maybe the index, because we have that. Why does this class name thing keep yelling at me? It did this last time, but I think it got fixed eventually. Okay. Looking good. Decent. We'll just call relations player row. Don't know why it doesn't want to bring that in. I believe this is from hooks. Use village. All right. Have that blur hash. I think we have everything else. We need to pass that index. Okay, I think we're looking good. I was just thinking something else I needed to do. Oh yeah, all right, we have the key, so that's good. Make sure we have that. Maybe I will try Xing out of this, bringing it back up, and maybe that will fix. Aha, no, it did not. Maybe it fixed most of my issues. That's good. I think I don't really care about this. I think we'll just show the gray line regardless, or you could potentially put it. No. So we'll just always show that. Is everything else working? Just have to import this. Boom. Okay, and that's loaded up. All right, so we got that working. Sweet. So now we need to make like a modal. We could call it like the player battle player modal, something like that. Player battle modal.tsx. I should be using my AI a little bit more. What should we tell it to do? Well, so we have this relative pop-up modal that we should be able to reuse. Yes, for most of this. Let's see. Actually, let's first do Command K, use the relative pop-up modal to create a modal showing the village, the player, and the village resources for a row from relations player row. Okay. I think that's enough maybe to see what our AI can do for us here. Ooh, this could be good. Okay. let's see. Show huts, villagers, and villagers resources as well. Okay. Nice, nice. It's got the modal visible stuff. We'll have to see with showing each modal visible. We only want to show one really. And so we may have to do something where we're like picking an index to show potentially. Or somehow they have to somehow update each other. So let's accept that. It's kind of cool. It looks like it all just kind of works. So that's cool. GM JP, I see you. Yep, got it working. So no worries. We are all good. Okay, so player battle modal. So kind of the next step is make this row/view be a touchable opacity. And when it is pressed, you should show the put player battle modal for it and pass correct data in. Submit. Okay. Added that. Added the player battle modal. Nice. Might have to add some things there. So it probably does make sense, yeah, for button layout, measure button, these things to come in from here. I was just seeing if there was like an AI thing there that it could do, but apparently not. Let's see. Can you initialize the state variables and measure button and button layout that are red right now? Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. Got the button layout, got the button ref. Cool. Should have this measure button code for that over here. Maybe. Right here. I think this is what we want. Then we might need to bring in a few things. Just gonna throw this in here and then see. Yeah, I think it's these two that we need. Boom. Okay. And everything is green. Everything is working. So now let's see if it's actually showing. Oh, there we go. We've got something. We've got something. But it's not showing in the right spot. But hey, that is a start. We're making some headway. Lots of good headway. Okay. Got all these. Placement is not quite right. Oh, I bet I didn't add my ref or whatever it's called. Button ref. Because we're getting that from here. Now let's see. Boom, there it is. Huge. That's huge. It just works. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't look quite how we want. We want it to something with my height and stuff. I think I can change maybe. It's maybe in the set button layout. And we at least have, okay, well, this is good. So there's a whole view. Whenever you click on this, there's now a whole view and it's going to go away. I can't click on another one. So we don't have to worry about, oh, which index is showing, things like that. So that's good. Very good, very good. I think it would be cool if maybe like these were up here on the right and then these three were like underneath or something. And what I kind of want it to look like is more, you click on it and then this stuff looks like it's kind of mirroring what was right below it, so that you kind of feel like you're in the same place. One of my least favorite thing with apps and stuff is modals, where you're in a view, right? And then all of a sudden you click a modal and then you're like in a new view having to select things. I want to be able to like go from what I'm seeing here to just like adding a little bit extra. I mean, it's I guess it's kind of, similar to an expand and things like that. So, have some coffee as I think what I should do. So yeah, I think what we want is this arrow, these three items to all pop up here, all kind of look like they're right there. So to do that, we could just copy over. We really could just copy over that whole setup here. We could copy this whole view here. And then that's going to go, instead of this, we'll put this. We don't want the cooldown bar here, so I'll remove that. And we don't need this extra view, I don't think. Okay, good. That's looking closer. Needs to be shifted, but let's see. Can you make this be a down chevron arrow? If that's possible. Except, let's see what that looks like. Oh, wrong arrow. I don't know if there's a character that works for this. More like the greater than symbol. Never mind. Is there an emoji that could work here? Potentially that. It's not going to look quite right. Eventually, I'll just have to make my own or something. That's probably what will happen. Not quite there. Probably just gonna have to make my own at some point. So let's just remove that for now. Or if we could have this one as like a placeholder. Like opacity 0 or something like that. So it takes up the space, but it doesn't get in our way there. Okay, I think, do we want this to be P2? I don't know. Maybe we could do like a PX of 1 pixel, something like that. Trying to make it so it really shows up on the side, so it looks like it's lined up. I think that's better. And then right now it's above. So where's that coming from? I think we have somewhere on our button layout or something. Measure button, button layout. I think that we are doing something different. Because if I remember in my buttons, I thought I was like subtracting something to kind of fix the height. Maybe not. So what if we did like Y? I'm I'm just kind of guessing to see what happens here. Plus 50. Yeah, so now it's down. So we're pushing it down. And we want to do a little less. We're basically searching for the height of this button. We also have a little bit of too much padding maybe that we don't care about. MX2. Here's where we're changing that. So we're kind of updating again where we're at, which is, I guess, fine, since this is used in multiple places. PY4. So that's where we don't necessarily want that much, but we do maybe elsewhere. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm liking that. Maybe we need to add it's like an interview. Or if I get rid of this, we have the children, add that. So in here, we can do PY2. There we go. And then here, I messed this up. We need to do a PY4 in probably a couple places. If I go to village, is it here or is it? Yeah, right here. So still not quite right. PY4. Oh, I'm also using this. So I think I just fixed it for one of these. But I also need this over in the action button because we're also using it there. Good to remember that. There we go. So that fixes that. Now we have this. So now the question is, can we add some more stuff here? We have been going for an hour and 13 minutes. And we are getting closer to creating this UI. So now we want this stuff. So let's do, we're kind of going to create another cooldown button, but we don't really care about the pop-up modal this time. I'm getting to the place where it's like I have so many variations of this. It's like maybe I could take out this use effect. That's probably one of the best things I can do to kind of reuse some stuff. I don't necessarily know if I want to reuse the cooldown button because then it could make some things a little complex. Hello, if you're joining. I'm working on Stoke Fire. I think I need to stand up because my legs are kind of getting a little rough. So let me do that. Give me a second here. I'm going to mute this and I can move my desk up. Okay, nothing broke. So that's good. All right. So we want to add some sort of cooldown button underneath what we have, because we need to add this thing to steal, and that's going to be a cooldown. That should work. These ones might even be just basic buttons potentially. Need to add a couple resources. So let's do maybe 2. Here we go. So we have all this stuff. We want to go underneath of that. We want to add, let's see if we can add a basic button. Add 2 of them. And then what do we need for a basic button? We've got loading. The children is the text. Loading is disabled. And loading text. We'll have to figure out what that is. So this is going to be our steel wood. This will be our steel food. Something like that. Yes, gathering transaction, stealing transaction, so kind of similar. Whoa. I think we should have like an on press here as well that we can use. Which will eventually fill out. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Wondering how my Stoke Fire streak is doing. I've already casted. Keeping the streak going. All right, so if we go here, that's good. So it's still looking nice. The buttons are messed up though. These are like width full, which we don't necessarily want. I think we can do width full here. And then here, if we have to put them in a view, maybe that's like, because we'll have some other text above this too. So with 1/2 maybe would work. Oh, whoops. That's why that's not working. There we go. Want a little bit of space between maybe. Does this work in React Native? Space X2. Hey, that does work. Nice. Steel wood, steel food. Except it's going over the edge here. We want it to be half. Let's see. How can we make the width of the two views be half of the parent view space rather than half of the full? Should be using Flexbox probably of the full width. Let's see if it can do it. Should be using, yeah, Flex. Much better, much better. All right, so we got that. And then we want, so we're making this right now. Let's do show a little info text of plus 1 to 8 for each resource. It should be in green. Cool. Accept that. Except I was expecting it to be above, not below. Make the pixel text for both float to the left. There we go. Maybe we'll give them a little bit of a margin left too. Oh, it's actually showing the icon too. That's funny. Which isn't a bad idea. I mean, that's what I'm going to do eventually. Like for these, right now I just show that. It's not a bad idea to update that now. Kind of fix it a little bit. Especially for this. That's kind of a lot to look at. So we'll have to do that. So that looks good to me. Except this should be food. Okay. All right, this is coming together. So now we need this UI of if they are defending or not. And actually we need a few more resources showing here. So let's pull, I think we have 2 more resources to show. I think what we want to do is, let's do a Command K. Can you put the villagers and huts resources in a row underneath these 3? Let's see if it can do it. You haven't failed me yet. That looks pretty right. Justify end, accept that. Except we like that emoji and we like the hut emoji. Boom, look at them. They're on the right. That's great. That's perfect. That's just what we want. All right. I think this whole view here needs a little bit more space. That's better. Okay, sweet. And so kind of the last thing we need to show is, does this person have their shield up or not? So I'm thinking that we can show this here underneath the display name and username. Can you make a row that shows a shield emoji and text that the player is defending. Looks good enough. It's a funny looking shield. Make the player is defending view go to flow left. That didn't work. Not working. Let's see. Shouldn't be like flex start. Flex row items center. Let's do text fire. Oh, this is my problem. We need this to be underneath the view here as well. Can you move the shield and player is defending view to be underneath the view with the profile image and have it in its own row floating left? See if it can fix it. So we got that. Wait a second, where did my, oh yeah, and then it does that. I think that should work. Boom. Oh wait, but why is this messed up now? Let's see if we can. What if I make this row? Will that fix? No, that fixes nothing. Yeah, what was different here? We had no, it was flex row. I think it was under that. And then we went to a flex column. Which we don't want quite, I don't think. I think we want this view. It was item center before. This one was. Well, let's just accept it and then see if we can fix. Make sure the view with the resources is on the right of the row. No. Item center. Maybe it was. Let's see. Some Flexbox stuff, probably. No, not that. This item's end should bring it over there. Because this is all contained. Players defending. That's that view. Maybe it's like space between. Might do the trick. See, how can you make it so there is space between the first and second view? Justify between. That's probably what it is. I'm forgetting. But now it's not taking the whole space. Maybe we need to do with full. There we go. Flex 1 did the trick. Oh no, they did remove our little doohickey. Let's see if we can get that back. This one right here. No, we want it to be right there. No. We want it to be, maybe it's even right here, actually. There we go. So that's pretty good. If we could somehow make, I guess for now we'll just do opacity 0. Okay. This is looking decent. So we have if the player's defending or not. We have a lot of things. So that's good. Let's see if I have any things I can do in the real world. Okay, I've got an hour and a half so I can chop wood. And we've got an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half before we can gather food. So we're making some progress, at least. All right. So I think we're kind of to a place where we can maybe commit this. We got the UI is kind of working. You know, it's obviously going to be, these are going to be different users. So I think visually it will make more sense. You know, you'll know which one you're on, which one you've clicked. So yeah, that is coming together pretty well because we have this option done. And we'll have to figure out like this one. We'll have to figure out some of this defense stuff. But we might even hook up some of the attacking stuff before we do that, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to hook up some of the data just so that we can like easily see the different states. But yeah, we're getting closer. I'm liking this. Hopefully quick to interact is the idea. So yeah, let's look at this real quick. See what we've changed. So we added that relations player row. It's looking good. We added the modal, which we'll be adding more to here eventually. We removed that so we could update some things. Added this. Added it again. Our cooldown bar. Then we updated our relations. So that's looking good. Let's go ahead and commit all this to our battle branch. So now we have kind of a good stopping point spot. We've had a lot of people stop by from X, 738 people. I don't know. Are you guys still watching though? I don't know if you're hanging out. It's hard to know if people are actually hanging out or they're just kind of moving on. But, you know, so let me know if you are. That'd be cool. So maybe the next thing that we could do is we could create some UI for the state where you cannot attack them yet. So we have like that cooldown button. We just kind of get that looking somewhat good. So it's in the modal. And so maybe what we'll do, we could split this up. That might be nice. And then we could have, for now, we could just do like true, have an option, and then do another option. So let's split this up into its own component and we'll call it steelbuttons.tsx. So that's how I kind of do it, is as I go, I kind of like clean up things and add more components once it starts to get big. Because no one wants just massive files of just ginormous things. I'm not even excited. Basic button, pixel text, boom. Then we can just throw this in here, steel buttons, like that. Maybe for now we'll just, well, let's see. So the other option is steel countdown, probably something like that. So then kind of bring this in, do this, boom. So then right now we can play around with just swapping this. And then later we can actually implement that logic. But why is it, oh yeah, we're not running this. I was like, why is it not showing me the new state? Gotta load that. There we go. Okay, so now the new state is our steel countdown. And it's basically going to be a countdown button, but then we're not going to let you do anything. So let's see, can we reuse our countdown button? We can use this. I think we could potentially show if it's disabled or not. It's using total seconds to enabled. Could do all that. I think this could work. Yeah. Add the countdown button from countdown button. Oh, cooldown. Add the cooldown button from cooldown button with all of its parameters. Let's see, it should say something like steel should say steal from username in maybe just steal from username, and then the countdown should kind of show us. They'll kind of be able to see what it's supposed to be there. Let's see what it can do here. Okay, looking pretty good. Let's just apply that, accept. We don't need, let's see, type props. Just pass the village. And that should give us everything we need. care about that. Stop player. Username. That text is not going to really make sense, but we're not even going to show this button if it's enabled. That's when we then show our steal buttons, but at least this is kind of just going to be a placeholder for the loading stuff. So we don't even need, it does make us, let's just like make an empty function here because we're not even going to use it. This is all just for looks. This is all for show, basically. We'll have to fix this. Okay, now we need to pass a village here. Like so. So let's see what this looks like. Steal from yada yada. And so then if we change this time, or this time last, let's say time last was 3,000. Nope. Total seconds 2 enabled. Should do, I mean, these we will have data to put in here. Right now I'm just trying to guess how I can make something work to show us that it's working. This info is like, can basically be null. We're not using that. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so we shouldn't have to worry about that being clicked, but you can click it right now and it's kind of messy looking because it will be more like a countdown instead. Let's see if we can. Oh, I got my B reel. Do you guys use B reel? It just went off right now. So it's, we got to be real here and take a picture of what we're doing. We're live streaming, we're being real. So they give you 2 minutes to take a picture and then like it shows like all your friends of what they've been doing that day. So kind of cool. All right, so cool down. Why aren't we actually cooling down? We're like getting the latest. Total seconds 2 enabled. Maybe if I update that, it will fix it potentially. But also doesn't really matter because we'll update this later when we actually put real data in, and then we'll actually have something because I have to pull the data. So, okay, so that's kind of it. Do we want anything else here? So we're saying that you can steal from them. Maybe we put some info text that's like every player can be attacked every 6 hours, whatever it is. Every Player can be attacked every 6 hours. Something like that. I think that kind of works, actually. Okay. Pretty cool. So that is this. And then, we can set it to false if we want to see what this looks like for that state. So let's see. I was just going to clean up something in this row. Thought I had some extra things showing, but I guess I don't. All right, so we have this state and this state kind of done. And so then we can do these states. Set up your defense. That should be pretty straightforward to do that. So we can do that as well. Let's go ahead and commit what we have. So all we did was update that. It's looking good. Got to fill in some things, but it's looking good. Clean that up. Cool. All right, so this will be kind of a new view above. So it'll be up here, but maybe we'll make a component for it and call it player defense .tsx. All right, so we're basically creating this button. Let's see if we can tell our trusty AI to do this for us. Yeah, I mean, I think this will just kind of be above the whole list. Create this component, which shows a what does it show? It shows, it's going to show a action button. It's going to be kind of similar to this row, player battle modal. So maybe we add that later. We need to create that first. Which shows touch opacity. that says set up your defense. Maybe that's it for now. Should have a little space above and below. Maybe the text can be text fire and tailwind. Oh wait, am I on the wrong? It's gonna do it here now. Oh good. It's decent enough to try it out. What is the deal here? I copied the wrong thing, I guess. Let's just pull this, throw it there. Just pulling in a few things. We don't really want the on press there. Okay. Let's get rid of that for now. We're going to then put this up in our relations. It's going to be at the top. Let's see, we want this to actually look, well, actually, we could just use a basic button, can't we? Because you're going to click it and then we'll do some stuff. So, or do we do an action button? If we did an action button, I think we can set, what are we allowed to set with these? We have our loading. We have a confirm. So we need to do basic because I think we can then set up some more stuff. There it is. Set up your defense. Let's give it a little bit more of a view here. Because we're gonna have this option. MY6 maybe. Or do we want it to actually, I think we want it to scroll. I think letting it scroll is pretty nice. Okay, so now we can create a modal that kind of follows this. So let's copy this, and we'll do defense choice modal. Got that. Got that. Let's get our props in here. Village. Does it need children, maybe? Yeah, it needs children. It is missing its children. Okay. Do we have anything that looks somewhat similar to this? Oh, we do. This right here. So let's see if we can just copy this. Put it in here. Import view. Import pixel text. Import basic button. All right. We'll change this to be defend and defend. Defending transaction. Defending transaction. Cool. All right. And then instead of so I think instead of having this here, I think we want it right here. Remove these. And actually, we'll have this up above. Have another view. Put that here. This here. Do class name. Flex. Flex call. Something like this. It seems like it's mad about something here. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, we don't have this. Maybe there we go. Parenthesis. And then let's just copy this. Get resources if you win. I like it. I like it. That's pretty good. We don't want it to be green though. Okay, so we have this defend choice modal. And we can basically do similar to this. Player defense. And we're going to put it right here. Defense choice modal. And this village is going to be your own village. So to get that, we'll go over to our main village screen. And we're going to copy these things. That gives us a village. Oops. Or undefined. This isn't even used in here. We probably will have to use it though. All right, so now we need the mode visible stuff. Probably best if we just copy it from here. Probably should deduplicate that somehow, somewhere, but I'm not yet. I don't know. I'm just not doing it yet. Find node handle. Okay, I think we're getting everything that we need. So this on press. So now this button needs some things so we can kind of connect it. We got to connect it to the modal. It kind of needs the ref and the on press. Those things. Because we can do that. Props should be able to handle a ref, shouldn't it? Does this have ref? Should have a ref. Why is it complaining? Maybe we have to specify it, I guess. What should the ref type be for React Native? Because I don't know. Touchable opacity. Okay. Works for me. I think we need to make this ref. Yeah, it's potentially null, so that's good. All right. We might have something here. Okay, we have something. It's weird, but we have it. We have something weird. You can see it's just not showing up. Do we have our ref? Are we setting our ref? Use ref, button ref. We got that. Maybe this plus 30 is bad now, potentially. And measure button. Why is it up there? What are you doing up there, man? We just went over 2 hours. Yes. 2 hours and 8 minutes. We're cooking. So maybe if I can just get this working, then we can kind of close down the stream. I can take a break And then maybe, you know, I'm going to come back, try to finish this. Hopefully, I should be able to get all this UI done, and which would be great. And then actually hook it up today. That would be cool. If I could have people playing this today, that'd be pretty awesome. Okay, so what's different here? We've got a touchable opacity ref instead. And this is all at the bottom. Everything's being set. That all looks the same. The only main difference is we're using a basic button instead. So, what's the big deal here? If we did like plus 100, then we're still not seeing it. Does something need to be absolute? I think that should all be handled. That should all be handled, I'm pretty sure. Maybe let's see if the AI knows why. We can reference relations player row. Why isn't the defense choice modal showing up at the spot of the basic button? Just like this similar kind of modal is being used in relations player row. They are both using the relative pop-up modal. All right, let's see. See if he knows what I'm talking about. So this part is correct. Offset adjustments. There's an additional offset of 30 pixels. Yeah, I did that. Modal positioning. Changes. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Move this before set modal visible. Interesting. I don't think that's going to work. But, you know, we'll give that a try. This really shouldn't have to be anything here. Nope. We're still not the right spot. Well, you know what? We did good. We went pretty far. Went far enough, right? I think I probably need to take a break, and then I'll come back and be able to smash this and know exactly what's going on, most likely. Most likely. Because it should be the same thing. It should be pretty straightforward. It could be something with a touchable opacity, but I wouldn't think so because our button, our basic button at the end of the day is a touchable opacity. Ooh, it might not work. Ooh, I think this is it. I don't think it works to, if I remember right in React, passing refs does not work well for some reason. I think I remember this. I think. So let's just try this real quick. Let's create touchable opacity right here. We'll give it these two things. Might as well. That button wasn't doing much for us anyways. Am I right? Seriously. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Get rid of that. Is disabled. Do we need to worry about this? I don't think so. If this button is showing, we know it's enabled. So this could be it. We will see. We will see. Because I do remember. Ooh, the strings will be rendered within a text component. Gotcha. I gotcha. I know what you're saying. So let's do that. Boom. There it is. I told you. I told you. We were onto something. That was it. Thank you, Matthias, for the good. Yeah, thank you for. Yeah, it was a good coding session. We made lots of progress. It was great. Oh, that's what I was wanting to do. I was wanting to put some MY2 right here. Just like that. And then the only other thing is that we're going to want to push it down, I think 100. So to do that, we do the Y plus 100. Boom. Oh, not that far. What are you thinking, man? 50. 30. Just keep changing it, you know? It's decent. Maybe even do a 40. I like that. Okay. We are on to something now. We've got defend food, attack food. This UI is starting to take shape. Let's do an in bottom of 2. Just give you a little bit more space there. Protect what you think attackers will steal. Get resources if you win. Defend wood, defend food. I like it. I like it. So this is on the relations tab. You know, we probably could use a little bit less padding here. I feel like that didn't affect anything. All right, that's pretty good. I think that's good. Well, we did, in fact, get that figured out at the very end. We got to figure it out. So that we can actually kind of do this. Defend wood, defend food. So we now have this and this ready. The other state is basically we have one more state. We have this state, which will just show up. This will just be at the top of the screen. It'll say, you're defending wood. You can be attacked in how many hours? So we'll have a cooldown, and we'll tell how long until you can be attacked. Actually, this part will be here as well. We want it to be evident at all times when you can be attacked, even if you are defending or not defending. So that will go there. And then this will just kind of be something that shows what you're defending. Okay, very cool. And we have this. So I think, does the game have a story? Kind of ish. You know, it's kind of getting played out as we go. When you first create your village, it kind of tells you a little message of like that it's cold and your villagers are losing hope, and then it says like stoke the fire to feed your village or something like that, to grow your village or something like that. So it's like you're kind of starting out in a place where it's like you start out with like nothing, your villagers are kind of counting on you, and then you kind of, so yeah, there's not a ton of story. It's, you know, something like that. You're just trying to explain that you're just trying to grow this village. Cool. Well, thank you everyone for stopping by and people that were here. That was fun. We got a lot done. And I think I really, you know, day's like half over. I think I have time to finish up stuff. I mean, we'll be done with the UI portion. That won't take me long to finish the UI portion here. And then it's just hooking things up, which mainly what that will pertain of is, well, one, we need to update this village type because we have more info here. So there's more data points here, and that's what the UI will be kind of looking at to see like which state it should be in, which the village is in. So we have a little bit more there to do, just adding that. And then we have this section under utils, contract. And here's our read and write functions. So this is where, you know, it's like your write functions to like build the hut, chop the wood, gather the food. So we have some new ones that are on the smart contracts that I need to add here for, you know, attacking, setting up your defense, things like that. So I have some write things to add. And then it will actually be just like kind of calling those in the UI when you click buttons and stuff. So yeah, that shouldn't, you know, getting close. The other main thing I'm gonna have to figure out how to do, which I still don't have a clear picture yet, I haven't really took the time, is when you get attacked, we kind of need to have, it might be some kind of modal of some sort, some kind of alert that, thank you, Matthias, appreciate it. But some kind of modal that pops up wherever you are at when you first enter the app that says like, hey, you've been attacked, you need to reveal the result, because the defender is the one that knows, and that's actually encrypted. Like their defense choice is encrypted on the blockchain, and so they have to reveal who ended up winning. And so they're limited. If they've been attacked, there's nothing else they can do to their village. They can't stoke fire, they can't build things, they can't do anything until they've revealed what's happened in that battle. And so it kind of shuts them down until they do that. And so I need to make that modal that kind of handles that situation, which will kind of be fun because you'll never know. You won't know when it's going to pop up. All of a sudden someone will attack you and you're like, oh man, did I defend them? Like what happened? So that'll be kind of like the fun part of the battles, I think. So yeah, hope this was enjoyable. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll probably do one of these soon. I want to make it kind of like some update, like a short form video as well that kind of like updates people on things that are going, and that's like, I feel like I can share, that's more shareable. So, but for now, this has been